The paper presents a comparison of 4 Muslim scholars who wrote about Christianity within their medieval context: Ibn Hazm, Ash-Shahrastani, Ibn Taymiyyah, Ibn al-Qayyim. The polymath Ibn Hazm, of Persian origin, belonged to a Muladi family that had converted to Islam, and they had embraced the Arab culture of Al-Andalus in the 10th and 11th centuries. His most famous work is the critical history of religions and sects, Al-Fasal fil Milal wa Nihal. Ibn Hazm is considered within Islamic culture the forerunner of the science of religions. The methodology of his work includes the union of polemic methodology, al-manhaj al-jidali, with the reference, taqrir, explanation, bayan, debate, munaqasha, and comparison, muqarana. The use of biblical quotations for the exposition of Judaism and Christianity, and of 2 types of arguments or proofs, adilla, those transmitted, al-naqliya, and those rational, al-aqliya, for the refutation, al-rad. His writing is very extensive as well as clear in description, al-ard, and debate, al-munaqasha. When Ibn Hazm defines Christians and Nasara, he speaks of their denial of pure monotheism, at-tawhid mujarradan, and their belief in Trinity, at-tathlith. Ibn Hazm first mentioned the sects close to Islamic monotheism, that is, those that follow Arius, Paulus Samosata, Macedonian the First, and barbarianism, al-barbaraniya, according to their theological proximity to Islam. Secondly, he cites those that believe in the Trinity and are the majority according to their geographical proximity to the Islamic world: the Melkite, al-Malkaniya, the Nestorian, al-Nesturiya, and the Jacobite, al-Yaqubiya. Melkism is the doctrine of all the Christian kings near Ethiopia and Nubia, and the common doctrine of the entire Christian kingdom, since they were in Ethiopia and Nubia, and is the doctrine of all Christians in Africa, Sicily, and Andalusia, and the majority of Sham, Syria, and Palestine. And they believe that Allah, forgive them, is 3 entities: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And so the Nestorians said, but they also say that Mary did not give birth to divinity, but to the human being, and that Allah, may He be exalted, did not create man, but divinity. May Allah forgive their unbelief. And this sect is found mostly in Mosul, Iraq, Persia, and Khorasan, and they are ascribed to Nestorius, Patriarch of Constantinople. And the Jacobites believe that Christ is Allah Himself, and that Allah, may He be aware of such great disbelief, died, was crucified, and assassinated, and that the world and the heavens spent 3 days without a creator. Then He got up and returned as He was. And may Allah be exalted, and that Allah is the one who was in the womb of Mary, who carried Him, and they are found in Egypt, Nubia, and Ethiopia, and the reigns of both of them. The theologian, philosopher, and historian of religions Abul Fatah Muhammad al-Shahrastani was born in the province of Khorasan and studied in Nishapur and Baghdad. Al-Shahrastani is known for his book, The Book of Creeds and Sects, Kitab al-Milal wal-Nihal, which deals with the religions, sects, and philosophies of his time from an objective, philosophical, systematic, and non-controversial approach. Shahrastani presents the Jews and Christians within the Quranic term, the people of the book, Ahlul Kitab, and contrasts them with the Arabs before Islam. In fact, the Jews and Christians were in the city of Medina, Al-Madinah, and the Arabs before Islam, Al-Ummiyun, in the city of Mecca. The people of the book followed the religion of the 12 tribes, Din al-Asbat, and the legislation of the people of Israel, Madhab Bani Israel, while the pre-Islamic Arabs followed the religion of the tribes, Din al-Aqabail, and the legislation of the people of Ismail, Madhab Bani Ismail. The followers of Malka, who appeared and took control of Byzantium and Rome, and most of the Byzantines are Melkites, as well as Roman Catholics. And Melkism has declared that the divine essence is not the person, such as the noun and his adjective. And in this way, they show the belief in Trinity. The followers of Nestorius, the wise, are those who appear at the time of Caliph Al-Ma'mun. He said, Allah, may He be exalted, is one, and has 3 persons: existence, knowledge, and life. And these persons are not added to the essence, and they are not he. The followers of Jacob believe in the three persons, as we said before, except that they believe the Word became flesh and blood, so the divinity became Christ, which is not only evident in his body, but that he is he. The polymath Ibn Taymiyyah was born in Harran, and he immigrated to Damascus at the age of 6 due to the Mongol invasion. His work, The Correct Answer to Those Who Have Changed the Religion of the Messiah, Al-Jawab al-Sahih liman badala din al-Masih, constitute the most detailed refutation of Christianity in Islamic culture. The methodology used in his book includes the reference to theological proofs of the two central sources of Islamic knowledge, that is, the Quran and the Sunnah, together with the rational proofs. The use of various techniques, asalib, and methodologies, manahij, in espousing theological issues and their evidence. The use of Christian theological arguments and biblical evidence. The meeting of the descriptive, wasfi, and analytical, tahlili methods, together with the critical, naqdi, and the argumentative, jadali. The inclusion of other religions such as Hinduism, paganism, and Greek, Persian, Turkish, Berber beliefs in the comparison of Christianity and Islam. The use of other Islamic sciences such as Islamic theology, al-Aqidah, prophetology, al-Nubuwat, Quranic interpretation, al-Tafsir, prophetic science, al-Hadith, history, al-Tarikh, and Islamic law, al-Fiqh. Ibn Taymiyyah will quote Ibn Hazm descriptions of the followers of Arius, Paulus Samosata, Macedonian the Fierce, and Barbarianism, and then the descriptions of the Melkites, Jacobites, and Nestorians. Although Ibn Taymiyyah's work criticized Christology and the Christian Trinity in several of these volumes, it mentions the great Christological difference between the multiplex sects and divisions, Firaq wa Tawaif. It says, excommunicates to kafir the other, as happened between the Jacobite, the Melkite, and the Nestorian. Ibn al-Qayyim al-Jawziyah was an Ibn Taymiyyah's student, and both of them are contemporaries of the Crusades, Al-Hurub al-Salibiyya, and the Mongol invasion, Al-Ghazw al-Mughali. Ibn Qayyim wrote a poem in which he seeks to refute Christianity, Qasida fi Naqd al-Nasraniyya, and a polemical work entitled Guide to the Doubtful in the Answer of Jews and Christians, Hidayatul Hayara fi Ajwibati al-Yahud al-Nasara. The methodology of his books is descriptive, inductive, critical, and comparative, manhaj wasfi, istiqra'i, naqdi, muqaran, and takes up many ideas and quotes from his teacher Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah's work is special because he used disqualifying terms and insults when espousing the beliefs of Jews and Christians. For example, at the end of the exposition on the position on Christ, he says, "So, these are the sayings of the enemies of Christ among the Jews, and the exaggerations about him among the Christians and the Trinitarians, worshippers of the cross. May God destroy both of them and to be healed." And they are the Byzantines, in attribution to the king's religion, not because a man named Malkaya. And if you reflect on their beliefs, you will find that the Jacobites say the same, including their contradiction, and the Jacobites have been excommunicated for their disbelief of this expression and their meanings. Ibn Qayyim mentions that Arianism, al-Arusiyya, comes from Nestorianism and says, in fact, Christ is the servant of Allah, just like the other prophets and messengers, and he says created and formed, and the Negos belonged to this doctrine. The Jacobites are followers of Jacob Baradeus, and he was called Lukiba, so because of his dress, libas, that was made of animal rags from the saddle, patching each other and dressing them. And the Jacobites said, Mary gave birth to Allah, and Allah, may he be exalted, says her, was crucified and nailed, died, and then was buried, and after that he lived. What the Quran says about this? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله هو المسيح بن مريم. And the Quran also says لقد كفر الذين قالوا إن الله ثالث ثلاثة وما من إله إلا إله واحد. So we can hear some conclusions are that Muslim scholars present limited knowledge of Christianity due to the closeness of Christian churches geographically to the Muslim territories before and after Islam. The presentation of such churches is limited to a theological presentation, and they are divided according to their theological proximity or remoteness to Islamic monotheism, nor to objective qualities. Every Muslim scholar takes direct quotes and ideas from his predecessors, with minor changes, to nurture his apologetic discourse rather than to add knowledge about Christianity. Theological, historical, and geographical inaccuracies in Islamic studies of religions show that linguistic limitation, social disputes, and theological difference influence the knowledge of otherness. Until this day, medieval Islamic definition of Christianity and its churches are joined to the refutation of the theological dogmas of the Trinity, the nature of Christ, and the Incarnation, always in opposition to Islamic monotheism. Islamic studies of religions are controversial, apologetic, and on many occasions intolerant, which can move from the theological sphere into the social one. How many Muslims theologians know biblical language? How many Christian theologians have heard the recitation of the Quran? Thanks a lot.